So it's only a couple of days before my next container arrives. Friday it should be here, and I've only got a couple of bikes left to go through before that, and this is one of them. It's been a bit of a frustrating one, only because when I bought it, there was a guy who's bought a few bikes off me, and he's like, I want that bike, I want that bike, I'll send you a deposit. And then he never sent the deposit, but he was due to pick some other bikes up, and he's like, yeah, I definitely want it, I definitely want it. And then when it came to picking the other bikes up, he was like, look, I've got no room in this van for that bike, so I'll send you a deposit, but I'm still having it. And then he's kept me on the hook for flipping ages. So what my original plan was, it needed a top end rebuild, it had lost compression. My original plan was to do the top end rebuild and then sell it as a running bike, but because this guy said he was having it, and he said he was going to do the top end, I never did it. So then it's got closer and closer and closer to the date of the next container arriving. I thought, flipping silly not to do it and sell it as a running, riding thing, which is what it is now. So yeah, just a bit frustrated with it really. So then I took the top off, and the piston had melted away on the exhaust port, so it had either run lean, probably run lean is probably what had happened, but then it had also melted part of a nikasil off the barrel, so that needed to go away for re-nikasil. So that's all been done, and then when I came to rebuild, then when I came to put it all back together, I discovered there was a flipping power valve idler gear. There's a little gear that drops down between the power valve on the left hand side of the barrel, sorry, the right hand side of the barrel as you would be sat on the bike, and that was missing, so I've had to order one and then wait for it, and then I couldn't put the thing back together until that arrived, and this, that and the other. Anyway, I got the top end finished not yesterday, the day before, so it's all been re-nikasiled, brand new Wiseco piston, obviously new little end bearing, the big end all seemed good, all the power valves been stripped out, it's all been cleaned, it's all working perfect, absolutely bob on. And then yeah, I'd put the top end back in, not yesterday, the day before, and then yesterday was spent really just putting the rest of the bike back together. So it's obviously, you know, fresh coolant, and carb's been cleaned, and it had a fresh air filter in it. And what else? It's got what looks to be a very new front sprocket and chain, and some nice bits, some nice levers. The grips they often go all manky because of the sun, because of the heat. They go all sticky, so I've put some fresh rental grips on. They're like a nice set of rentals. Yeah, and just put it back together, and then I fired it up yesterday, and I tell you what, kicking it over, it literally, I couldn't get the engine to actually spin. There was not that much compression, and then once a little bit of fuel had gone through and it had just lubed the barrel up just that fraction, it then did kick over, and then it just fired straight up, and it ran absolutely beautiful. Probably took about, well, it will have took 2 clean kicks to get it to fire, but it probably took about 10 to get that barrel to be lubed. And yeah, like I say, ran absolutely amazing. So it's ready for sale. There's a couple of bits and pieces which aren't ideal on it. One of the bits is the front rim. There is a massive ding in the front rim. It must be on this other side, it's on the right hand side. I thought I'd got a different set of wheels for this bike. It's a KX500 AF, so it's a KX450 chassis and chassis parts and a KX500 motor. It's a 2006 KX450 is what it's built on. I thought I had a set of wheels for it, and I've pulled them out and then gone to put them in, and the axles in this are much bigger than what those wheels will take. So clearly they're from something older, probably a KX500i would have said, but I need to double check. And then the motor in this is a 97 KX500. Yeah, so I was planning on putting those wheels on, so you'd have had a mint set of wheels on it, all original Kawasaki, but like I say, they didn't fit. So there's a ding in the front rim, so that it's a proper shame because these are shouldered rims. They're a really nice set of rims. They would have cost a lot of money, and then there's a massive ding in the pipe as well. So really, it's going to need a new pipe and either re-rimming these wheels or another set of wheels. I toyed with the idea of buying a set, but I could just do with getting the thing up for sale really, so probably put it on a little bit cheaper because it needs the wheels and a pipe, and then if it doesn't sell at the price that I put it up at, then we'll get a set of wheels and a pipe for it, and then sell it at a bit higher money really. Proper nice thing though, and will run amazing. Will ride amazing. If you can ride a 500, this will be a proper thing to go and have some fun on. So I'll just show you that ding in the front rim. Now, I reckon he must have hit something very quickly to do that. That's a serious ding, and I wonder if when he did that, hit some massive rock flat out on a 500. I wonder if that's when he came off and did that, because that's also a big ding. Now, it did run yesterday, it ran absolutely fine, it sounded amazing, so obviously that ding will be affecting power, and you could blow it out, but obviously it's a beautiful looking bike, so you wouldn't really want it with that big ding. So all the frame looks good. What they have to do is they have to cut the frame apart and weld it back together to get the 500 motor in. The welding's not bad at all. I've seen a lot worse welding than that. It looks all solid. There's no cracks or anything like that. All looks good. The motor looks good. There's no damage to any of the casings or anything. Obviously it's been, you know, there's the normal brake wear on the clutch cover and stuff, but not a lot. But it's a really nice looking bike. Looks fantastic. It's got a desert tank on, so again, if you're just going to have it as a motocross bike, then maybe swapping that tank for a KX450 tank would make it look a bit nicer. But I don't think it looks bad with that tank, to be honest. forks are in good nick. Possibly the fork seals need doing. Front brake all working fine. Everything, I mean pretty much everything that's here looks good. Obviously it does need little bits and pieces doing to it, as all second-hand bikes do. I've not just built this fresh. This is a bike that I've bought that needed a top end doing, which I've done, and then I'm selling it on as it is. I would say it's pretty much in running and riding condition. I certainly wouldn't have a worry taking that bike out with that front rim as it is. Maybe I'd want to have a look at the fork seals. Could do with a fresh set of tyres. Now, this pipe here has been getting worn by the tyre. Now, looking at it, I would say that tyre should clear that pipe when you land. But it is a very wide section tyre, that. It's a 120, so maybe I would have expected it to be a little bit bigger, and I've just noticed it's an 18-inch rim. So maybe, you know, if you're swapping those wheels, get a 19-inch rim for the rear. So get a 450 set of wheels, and that would come with a 19-inch rim, and then maybe, well, with a 19-inch rim, probably a 120 section tyre would just come up that fraction thinner. A motocross tyre, and then hopefully it wouldn't hit that pipe at all. Or the other option you've got is to just space it out a bit here, build a little spacer to just move it out that extra fraction so it doesn't hit. But it looks good. I mean, the rear wheel's not got any dings in it or anything like that. They are a proper nice set of rims though. Look, with that shoulder, really smart. It's like old school rims, that. Acron rims that used to come on, like Bull Tacos and things like that, were often shouldered like that. So at some point the fellas obviously had the suspension done by Enzo Racing. I don't know what Enzo Racing are like, but I'm assuming they know what they're doing. And it's got lots of nice tricky bits on it, so the works connection, brake reservoir, it's got ASV clamp on it, it's got the anodized bits on the brake, it's got the different oil filler cap, it's got works connection rear brake, master cylinder guard, it's got some lovely bits, so nice foot pegs. That one's got one of the teeth missing, but so is that one. But they're a nice grippy set of pegs then. So yeah, lovely bike. Well, it's very early in the morning here, so I'm not just going to fire it up right this minute. I'm going to fire it up in a bit when there's going to be more people up, and people aren't going to get annoyed with me. And then, but what we'll do is we'll just do the gearbox check now. I'm not going to ride the bike because I've still got a problem with my knee. So I'll do the gearbox check. I had it on my bench yesterday, and when I was heat cycling it and stuff, and I put it into gear, and I did run it through a couple of gears on the bench. But what we'll do, and it did absolutely fine. There's absolutely no problem with that gearbox at all. But I will just do the gearbox check, the static gearbox check that I normally do, and then I'll fire it up in a bit, then we'll get the video posted. So she's in neutral at the minute, down into first. It'll be a 5-speed, well, it is a 5-speed box. Back into neutral, second, third, fourth, and fifth. And while it's in fifth, I wonder if I can spin that motor over, and not without pushing it off the stand. So I'll go back down into fourth, third, second, and neutral. So all the gears are present and correct. Like I say, I did run it through the gears on the bench yesterday while I was heat cycling it, and all absolutely fine. So in a second, well, when there's more people up, I'll get it fired up and you can hear it running. But what a cracking, beautiful bike. Sounds good, doesn't she? Please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just search Phoenix Motos.